My name is Victoria. For decades, I was the quiet force behind the family's prestige, having built a high-end real estate empire before passing the reins to my son. I spent my life ensuring Sebastian had every door opened for him, but it seems he forgot who held the keys. He married Genevieve, a woman whose elegance was a mask for a cold, calculating social ambition, to celebrate a milestone for the family. I spent 3 years meticulously designing a getaway to a private estate in Tuscany. I did not just fund it. I hand-selected every detail, including the private vineyard tour, the world-class chefs, and the personalized leather luggage for my grandchildren. It was meant to be my legacy trip, costing nearly $200,000. The evening before the private car was set to arrive, my phone buzzed with a notification. My seat on the jet had been reassigned. Then came the message from Sebastian. He told me that the excursion had evolved into a strategic retreat for Genevieve's charity board and some high-profile associates. He said my traditional views might clash with the image they were projecting and suggested I stay home for some quiet reflection while they sent photos. I sat in my library as the fire cast long shadows across the room. I was not being treated as a matriarch. I was being treated as a spent resource. But Sebastian had overlooked one vital detail. I am the sole owner of the holding company that managed the estate's lease and the aviation contract. At dawn, while they were likely rehearsing their social graces for the flight, I made a single call to my estate manager. I did not just pause the funds. I terminated the contracts for breach of private usage. 2 hours later, Sebastian's name flashed on my screen. His voice was taut with suppressed rage and humiliation. He shouted that they were at the hangar, and the pilot said the flight was grounded due to a funding withdrawal. He said the estate in Italy was refusing their entry, and Genevieve's board members were standing there with their luggage. He asked what I had done. I adjusted the collar of my silk robe and spoke with a calm that felt like ice. I told him that since he said the trip was for strategic associates, and I was no longer a stakeholder in his social strategy, I decided to reallocate my assets. I told him a man of his ambition should understand that there is no such thing as a free seat at a table you did not build. I did not let the money sit idle. I reached out to Mrs. Higgins, my longtime housekeeper, and Helena, a dear friend who had spent her life running a struggling orphanage. I did not take them to Italy. I chartered a yacht for a Scandinavian fjord expedition. We spent 10 days drifting past blue glaciers and golden cliffs. There were no boards to impress and no reputations to protect. We were just 3 women who had spent a lifetime being the help or the backbone, finally enjoying the view from the top. Sebastian's reputation took a devastating hit in his social circles. Genevieve's board members did not take kindly to being stranded at a private hangar. When I returned home, refreshed and tanned from the northern sun, I found a stack of desperate letters from them. I did not read them. I simply placed them in the shredder. I had finally realized that my place was not waiting for an invitation. It was owning the house.